The dress was not hers. Neither was the name she was using. Zara Okonkwo stood in the elevator of the Signal Hotel in Songpagu, Seoul, wearing a silk dress that cost more than her Brooklyn apartment's monthly rent, carrying a clutch bag with a listening device sewn into the lining, and told herself for the 14th time that evening that she was fine. She was not fine. She was 27 years old and she was about to walk into a private dinner hosted by Young Ae-in, the most dangerous woman in Seoul's underground, and pretend to be someone she wasn't, for a man she hated, to find a brother who had left her to clean up a mess she hadn't made. The elevator doors opened. A hand appeared, large, tattooed at the wrist, holding the door. She looked up. Kang Jae-won, the black card, was standing in the corridor in a dark suit that fit him the way power fits people who were born into it and never lost it. Dark eyes. Sharp jaw. The particular stillness of a man who had never once been surprised by anything. He looked at her. "You're 2 minutes late," he said. "The dress took longer than expected," she said. "The dress is fine," he said. His eyes moved over her once, not lewdly, assessingly, the way he looked at everything. "You are fine." She stepped out of the elevator. "Don't," she said quietly, "mistake this for something it isn't." "I never do," he said. They walked toward the private dining room side by side and she thought about her brother and the debt and the 3 months that had brought her here and she told herself this was just a job. Her body, inconveniently, devastatingly, disagreed. 3 months earlier, Seoul had a version of itself it showed tourists. Clean, bright, efficient, the kind of city that made you feel like the future had already arrived and simply been tastefully designed. Han River at sunset. Street food in Myeongdong. The particular electricity of a city that runs on ambition and beauty and the careful management of what the world is allowed to see. And then there was the other Seoul. The one that existed in private rooms and encrypted communications and the particular handshakes between men, and one woman specifically, who had decided that the legitimate world was simply the surface of things and that the real business happened underneath. Zara Okonkwo had not come to Seoul for either version. She had come for her brother. She had been in Seoul for 11 days when she found him. Not her brother, she hadn't found Kofi yet. She found the black card. It had taken 11 days of asking careful questions in the wrong kind of bars and leaving her number with the right kind of people and spending money she didn't have on drinks for strangers who might know something. On the 11th day a car appeared outside her Mapogu guest house at midnight. She got in. She had not survived 27 years of being Nigerian and American and a woman in New York by being the kind of person who didn't get in the car. They drove for 20 minutes. She tracked the route. Old habit, her father had taught her, always know where you are, always know how to leave. The building they stopped at was in Gangnam. Private. No signage. The kind of place that didn't need to announce itself. She was brought to a room. He was already there. Kang Jae-won was 35. He ran the Kang organization, which was the name it gave itself in the documents that existed, and the black card in the conversations that didn't. He had built it from the remains of his father's operation over 8 years of decisions that had cost significant amounts in the currency of blood and loyalty and the kind of favors that never fully closed. He sat behind a desk and looked at her the way she imagined he looked at everything, completely, efficiently, missing nothing. "Zara Okonkwo," he said. "Brooklyn. 27. Your father was Nigerian, your mother is from Atlanta. You work in financial fraud investigation for a firm on Wall Street." He paused. "Which explains why you've been asking questions in all the right places with all the wrong cover." She sat down across from him without being invited. "Where is my brother?" she said. "Gone," he said. "Gone where?" she said. "That," he said, "is the question." He told her cleanly. No decoration. Her brother Kofi, 24, Lagos-born, New York-raised, their father's charm and none of their father's sense, had come to Seoul 8 months ago following a girl and a business idea and the particular optimism of a young man who had never faced a consequence he couldn't talk his way out of. The business idea had failed. The girl had left. The debt, borrowed from a mid-level operator in Seoul's underground to fund the business, had remained. Kofi had done what Kofi always did when things got difficult. He had borrowed more to cover the first debt. And more to cover the second. The numbers had compounded with the particular cruelty of underground interest rates until the debt had reached a figure that was no longer manageable by any reasonable definition. And then Kofi had run. How much? Zara said. He told her. She kept her face completely still. That's not a number I can pay, she said. No, he agreed. Then why am I here, she said. He leaned back. Because the person Kofi ultimately borrowed from, he said, is not someone who works for me. She is someone who works against me. The debt went to a rival, she said. Jung-ae-in, he said. Yes. Zara had done enough research in 11 days to know that name. And you want something, she said. From me specifically. Or you would have let me keep asking questions in bars until someone less patient than you found me. He looked at her. You work in financial fraud investigation, he said. You know how money moves. How it hides. How to follow it. Yes, she said. Jung-ae-in has been moving significant funds, he said. Through channels I haven't been able to identify. I need someone inside her circle who can find those channels. You want me to infiltrate her, she said. I want you to get close to her, he said. Attend her events. Build her trust. Find me the financial architecture she's hiding. And in exchange, she said. The debt disappears, he said. Whatever Kofi owes, to whoever he owes it, gone. And I find your brother. She looked at him. You can find him, she said. I can find anyone, he said. She held his gaze. If you're lying to me, she said, I will burn everything you've built down to the foundation. He looked at her for a long moment. I know, he said. That's partially why I chose you. She set them at 1 a.m. at his desk with 2 glasses of water because she didn't drink on principle when negotiating. I work alone inside, she said. You don't send people to watch me. You don't interfere with my approach. Agreed, he said. I report to you directly, she said. Nobody else in your organization knows what I'm doing or who I am. Agreed, he said. If at any point my safety is compromised, she said, I walk. The deal holds regardless. Agreed, he said. And you find Kofi, she said. Not eventually. Within 30 days. He was quiet for a moment. 30 days, he agreed. She picked up her water. One more thing, she said. Yes, he said. Don't, she said, mistake this for anything other than a transaction. I'm not impressed by your suit or your building or whatever it is that makes people afraid of you. He looked at her steadily. What are you impressed by? He said. Nothing yet, she said. Something crossed his face. Not quite a smile. The shadow of one. She went home. She lay in her guesthouse bed and stared at the ceiling and thought about Kofi and the debt and the man with the dark eyes who had found her before she found him. She thought about the shadow of a smile. She told herself it was irrelevant. She met her at a charity auction in Itaewon 3 days later. The cover was simple, Zara Cole, American financial consultant, recently relocated to Seoul for a client. Elegant enough to be credible, vague enough to withstand casual scrutiny. Jung-ae was 42. Beautiful in the way that certain women are beautiful, not soft, architectural. Like her face had been designed specifically to be underestimated and was tired of it. She wore all white to a room full of dark clothing and stood in the center of it like she had arranged the contrast deliberately. She probably had. Zara approached her the way her Wall Street training had taught her to approach powerful people, not directly, not sycophantically, but adjacently. She positioned herself near something Aerin was looking at and said something intelligent about it and let the conversation find its own direction. Within 20 minutes Aerin had asked for her card. Within a week she had been invited to a private dinner. Within 2 weeks she had access to Aerin's inner circle, the lunches, the gallery openings, the late-night conversations over wine in Aerin's Hanam-dong apartment where the real version of the woman emerged slowly. She reported to Jae-won every 3 days. He listened in a way that was different from how she expected him to listen, not directing, not interrupting, asking precise questions that told her his mind was several steps ahead of the conversation at all times. She found herself elaborating beyond what was necessary. She noted that. Filed it. Did nothing about it. The problem with proximity to Kang Jae-won was that it accumulated. Each reporting session she understood him more than the one before. Not his organization, that she had mapped cleanly in the first 2 weeks, the hierarchy and the methods and the architecture of how he had built something that operated with the precision of a legitimate corporation while existing entirely outside legitimacy. She understood him. The actual person. The way he never sat with his back to a door. The way he always set 2 cups even when he said he wasn't drinking anything. She had started bringing coffee regardless and he always drank it. The way he asked about Kofi at the end of every session, not as a reminder of the deal but with something that sounded like it was actually a question about her. You raised him, he said once. Not a question. My mother worked double shifts, she said. My father sent money from Lagos when he could. Which was not always. She shrugged. Someone had to make sure Kofi ate and did his homework and didn't become whatever the street was trying to make him. You were 17, he said. Yes, she said. That's too young for that, he said. She looked at him. Most necessary things don't wait for the right age. He was quiet for a moment. No, he said. They don't. She thought about asking what necessary thing had come for him too young. She didn't ask. She thought about it for 3 days afterward. On the 4th week Aerin said something that changed the shape of everything. They were at a late dinner, just the 2 of them, the inner circle reduced to its smallest configuration, and Aerin had had 2 glasses of wine which was exactly 1 more than her usual and was looking at Zara with an expression that was different from her usual composed assessment. You're very good, Aerin said. At what? Zara said carefully. At being exactly what the room needs you to be, Aerin said. It's a specific skill. I've spent 20 years cultivating it. She tilted her head. I recognize it in other people. Zara held her gaze. That's a compliment. It's an observation, Aerin said. The question is who taught you? Life, Zara said. Specifically, Aerin said. Zara looked at her wine glass. A childhood that required it, she said. And a career that refined it. Aerin studied her. You're not here for the reasons you said, Aerin said. Zara looked up. No financial consultant, Aerin said pleasantly, spends 3 weeks building a relationship with me before asking a single professional question. She set down her glass. Who sent you? The room was very quiet. Nobody sent me, Zara said. I came for my brother. She hadn't planned to say that. It came out anyway. Because it was true and the truth had its own weight that was sometimes heavier than strategy. Aerin looked at her for a long moment. Kofi, she said. Zara went completely still. You know him, she said. I know of him, Aerin said. His debt passed through several hands before it reached the current holder. She paused. You should know something, Zara. About your brother. About where he is. Tell me, she said. Not tonight, Aerin said. Come to my office tomorrow. Alone. Without whatever device you're carrying. She said it without heat. Just as fact. Zara looked at her. Okay, she said. She called him from the street outside Aerin's building. She knows, she said when he answered. Silence. How much, he said. Enough, she said. She wants to meet tomorrow. She says she knows something about Kofi. Don't go, he said immediately. I'm going, she said. Zara. She's not going to hurt me, she said. If she wanted to do that she would have done it at the table. She paused. She knows I'm connected to you. She's using Kofi to open a different conversation. What conversation? He said. I don't know yet, she said. But I'm going to find out. Silence. I'll have people outside, he said. I said no people, she said. That was before she made you, he said. His voice was different, lower, something in it that had moved past professional into something she didn't have a clean word for. I'm not sending you in there without. J1, she said. He stopped. She had used his name. Not the black card. Not Mr. Kong. His name. I know what I'm doing, she said quietly. Trust that. Long silence. One person, he said. Outside only. Non-interference. Fine, she said. She hung up. She stood on the Hanam-dong street and breathed the Seoul night air and thought about the way his voice had changed when he said her name. She thought about it too much. The office was in Cheongdam-dong, above a gallery, private elevator, the kind of space that was designed to be the last place anyone expected power to live. Ae-in was already there when Zara arrived. No staff. 2 cups of tea. Sit down, Ae-in said. Zara sat. Your brother, Ae-in said, is in Busan. Zara kept her face still. He has been in Busan for 2 months, Ae-in said. He is not being held. He is not in danger. He is, she paused. Hiding. From the debt. From you. From everything he left behind. You're certain, Zara said. I had him located 6 weeks ago, Ae-in said. As leverage. In case I needed it. She looked at Zara steadily. I'm telling you now because I think you deserve to know. And because I want something in return. What? Zara said. Kong Jae-won, Ae-in said. I want out of the war with him. It's expensive and exhausting and neither of us is winning. She looked at Zara. You have his ear in a way his lieutenants don't. I've watched him these past weeks, how he moves when you're in a room. How he listens when your name comes up. We have a transaction, Zara said carefully. You have more than that, Ae-in said. Simply. As fact. And I think you know it. Zara said nothing. Broker a conversation, Ae-in said. Between him and me. Neutral ground. No weapons. A real conversation about ending this. She paused. Do that and I'll give you Kofi's location. Precisely. Today. Zara looked at her. Why not approach him directly, she said. Because he won't listen to me, Ae-in said. He will listen to you. Zara held her gaze for a long moment. Give me the location first, she said. After the conversation is arranged, Ae-in said. Half now, Zara said. The district. Not the address. Ae-in looked at her. Houndy, she said. Busan. Zara nodded. I'll make the call, she said. She went to him directly. Not a call. She went to the Gangnam building and told the man at the desk she needed to see him and waited in the corridor with her arms crossed until the elevator opened and he appeared with the expression of someone who had been in the middle of something and had come anyway. He looked at her face. What happened, he said. She told him. Everything. The meeting, what Ae-in had said, the offer, Kofi in Busan, all of it. He listened without interrupting. When she finished he was quiet for a moment. She wants a conversation, he said. Yes, she said. And you think she means it, he said. I think she's tired, Zara said. The same way you're tired. Neither of you will say it but it's in every decision. The cost is too high and the gain isn't worth it anymore. He looked at her. You got all of that from 4 weeks inside, he said. I got all of that from paying attention, she said. Which is what you brought me here to do. He was quiet. If I agree to this conversation, he said carefully, it has nothing to do with. I know, she said. It's a strategic decision. Not personal. Yes, he said. Good, she said. Then decide strategically. He looked at her for a long moment. Arrange it, he said. Neutral ground. Myeongdong. The restaurant on the 14th floor. I own the building, she doesn't know that, which means I have the security advantage without it being visible. That's not neutral, she said. It's the closest I do to neutral, he said. She pulled out her phone. J1, she said. Yes, he said. After this, she said carefully. After a year in and the conversation and whatever comes after, what happens to the deal? The deal is complete, he said. You did what I asked. The debt is gone. And Kofi, she said. He looked at her. I'll have the full address in Busan within an hour, he said. She nodded. She made the call to Airin. She did not think about what she had almost asked. The question underneath the question. The thing that had nothing to do with Kofi or the debt or the deal. She thought about it anyway. Back to the beginning. The elevator. The dress that wasn't hers. The name she wasn't using. His hand holding the door. She walked beside him toward the private dining room and she was aware of him beside her the way she had been aware of him for 4 weeks, specifically, inconveniently, in a way that had nothing to do with the transaction. She'll try to read what we are to each other, Zara said quietly as they approached the door. Let her, he said. It might complicate. Let her, he said again. His voice was different in this corridor. Lower. Something in it that was not the boardroom version or the organization version. Whatever she concludes will make her more comfortable. Not less. She looked at him sideways. You want her to think there's something between us, she said. I want her to think I have something worth protecting, he said. That makes me human. Humans make deals. She was quiet for a moment. And is that all it is, she said. Strategy? He looked at her. The dining room door was 3 feet away. No, he said. She looked ahead. Okay, she said. They went in. Airin was already seated. She looked at them both when they entered, the specific look of a woman who had been right about something and was deciding how much to show that she knew it. The dinner lasted 2 hours. It was the most civilized conversation Zara had ever witnessed between 2 people who had spent 3 years costing each other significant amounts in every currency that mattered. She sat between them, not literally, she was to J1's left, and watched it happen. The careful repositioning. The concessions that were offered sideways so neither person had to appear to be making them directly. The particular dance of 2 powerful people deciding simultaneously that peace was more valuable than victory. She had done this on Wall Street. Watched deals get made in the language of what wasn't said. She watched J1 do it with the precision of someone who had been negotiating survival since before he should have had to. At one point Airin looked at her directly and said. You're very quiet. I'm observing, Zara said. What do you see? Airin said. 2 people who are both right, she said. Which is always the most expensive kind of conflict. Airin looked at her for a moment. Then she looked at J1. Keep her, Airin said. As if Zara was not in the room. She's not mine to keep, J1 said. Not yet, Airin said. Zara picked up her water. The address came through at midnight. A guest house in Houndy. 2nd floor. Room 7. She went alone on the first train the next morning. 3 hours. She sat and watched Korea move past the window and thought about everything that had happened in 4 weeks and everything that was about to happen in the next hour. The guest house was small and slightly shabby and the kind of place that people stayed when they were trying not to be found. She knocked on room 7. Silence. Then movement. The door opened. Kofi Okonkwo was 24 years old and he looked like he had aged significantly in the 8 months since she had last seen him. Thinner. The particular thinness of someone who has been afraid for a long time and stopped eating properly. His eyes, their father's eyes, warm and large, went through several expressions in rapid succession when he saw her face. Shock. Relief. Guilt. The guilt most of all. Zara, he said. Hey, she said. She stepped in. The room was small. He had been there long enough to make it slightly his own, a book on the nightstand, his jacket over the chair, a coffee cup on the window ledge. How did you find me? He said. I'm very good at finding things, she said. Sit down, Kofi. He sat on the bed. She sat on the chair. She looked at him. Tell me, she said. The real version. Not what you would have told me on the phone if you'd answered my calls. He told her. It was worse than she had known and better than she had feared. The debt had started small, genuinely, foolishly small, the kind of number that seems manageable until the interest makes it monstrous. He had tried to cover it himself. Failed. Borrowed more. The spiral had been fast and humiliating, and by the time he understood what he was in, he was already too deep to see a way out that didn't require admitting to her what he had done. So you ran, she said. I ran, he said. I know. I know, Zara. You left me to find you, she said. You left me to walk into rooms full of people who, she stopped. Breathed. You left me. I know, he said. His voice was very quiet. I'm sorry. She looked at her brother. The boy she had made sure ate dinner. Had done homework. Had not become whatever the street was trying to make him. The debt is gone, she said. All of it. You don't owe anyone anything. He looked at her. How? I handled it, she said. Like I always handle it. Zara. What I need from you, she said, is a promise. One promise. Anything, he said. That the next time, she said, you call me. Before it gets to this. Before you run. She looked at him. I am your sister. Not your safety net. Not your cleanup crew. Your sister. She paused. Call me. He looked at her. Okay, he said. Promise me, she said. I promise, he said. She sat with him for 2 hours. She did not tell him everything. She told him enough. When she left, she stood outside the guest house in the Busan morning, the sea visible at the end of the street, the air different from Seoul, slower, and she called her mother in New York and told her Kofi was okay. Her mother cried. She did not. She saved that for the train back to Seoul. 3 hours. Korea moving past the window in reverse. She let herself feel it, all of it, the 4 weeks, the debt, the deal, the brother found, and the truth that was neither as bad nor as good as either end of what she had imagined. She let herself feel the other thing too. The thing that had been building in every reporting session and every coffee cup and every moment his voice had done, the thing where it changed when he said her name. She arrived back in Seoul at 4 p.m. She went directly to the Gangnam building. He was at his desk when she came in. He looked up. Busan, he said. He's okay, she said. He's coming back to Seoul next week. Something moved through his expression. Relief, she thought. Genuine. Good, he said. She sat in the chair across from his desk, the same one she had sat in the first night, when this had been nothing but a transaction. The deal is done, she said. Aerin has what she needs. You have what you need. Kofi is found. Yes, he said. So, she said. So, he agreed. The office was quiet. I'm going back to New York, she said. There's nothing keeping me here. He said nothing. My apartment, she said. My job. My life. Yes, he said. Those are all real things, she said. That exist. In New York. I know, he said. She looked at him. Say something, she said. That isn't one word. He looked at her for a long moment. I don't know how to ask for things, he said. I know how to take them. I know how to make deals. I know how to structure a transaction so that both parties have incentive to complete it. He paused. I don't know how to sit across from someone and say, I don't want this to be the last time you're in this room. She looked at him. You just did, she said. Badly, he said. No, she said. Honestly. She looked at her hands. I have a life in New York that I built. I'm not abandoning it. I'm not asking you to, he said. I don't do arrangements, she said. I don't do convenient. I don't do. I know, he said. You told me that the first night. That you weren't impressed by anything I had. I'm not, she said. No, he agreed. But I'm impressed, she said carefully, by what you are. Underneath the building and the suit and the name people say quietly. She looked at him. By the person who asked me every session how I was doing. Who set 2 cups before I arrived. Who changed his voice when he said my name and thought I didn't notice. He was very still. I noticed, she said. He stood up from behind the desk. He came around it and stood in front of her, and she stood too because she was not going to receive whatever this was from a seated position. They were very close. I can't promise you simple, he said. My life is not. I know what your life is, she said. I spent 4 weeks inside it. And, he said. She looked at him. And I'm still here, she said. He reached up slowly and touched her face, one hand, his thumb at her jaw, the specific gentleness of a man who has spent his entire life being forceful, discovering that he wants to be careful with one specific thing. She held still. Zara, he said. Yes, she said. Stay, he said. Not forever. Not as a transaction. Just, stay a little longer. And we'll figure out what longer means. She looked at him. She thought about New York. Her apartment. Her job. Her life. She thought about 4 weeks of coffee cups and changed voices and a man who had found her before she found him and had been careful with her in every way that mattered since. She thought about what she told Kofi. Call me. I am your sister. Not your safety net. She thought about what she had never told herself. You are allowed to want things too. Things that cost you something. Things that are complicated and real. She put her hand on his chest. A little longer, she said. He kissed her. Not urgently, slowly, the way a man kisses someone when he is trying to say something his words haven't quite caught up to yet. She kissed him back with 4 weeks of resistance and 1 train ride of honesty and everything she had decided somewhere between Busan and Seoul. When they broke apart, she looked at him. The dress, she said. What about it, he said. I'm keeping it, she said. Consider it payment for emotional damages. He looked at her. The real smile. Not the shadow of one. She stored it somewhere private. Keep it, he said. She stayed 3 more weeks. Then she went back to New York. She told her mother she had found Kofi and that Seoul was more complicated than she expected and that she would explain everything eventually. She did not explain everything. Some things didn't have clean explanations yet. Kofi came back to Seoul and then to New York 2 months later, thinner still, quieter than before, carrying the particular humility of someone who had run from something and come back to find it waiting without judgment. He called her. That much had changed. She accepted a consulting contract that required her to be in Seoul 4 months of the year. She told herself it was professional. On the first night back she went directly to the Gangnam building. He was at his desk. He looked up. He set a second cup. She sat down. 4 months, she said. 4 months, he agreed. That's all I can promise, she said. I know, he said. It's enough. It was not enough and they both knew it. It was also all they had right now and they both knew that too. She picked up the coffee. He went back to his work. She watched him for a moment, the sharp profile, the controlled stillness, the man underneath the building and the name who set 2 cups before she arrived. She thought about Kofi. Not with anger anymore. With something more complicated, love and exhaustion and the particular grief of watching someone you raised make choices you couldn't protect them from. She thought about what Kofi's disappearance had cost her. She thought about what it had given her. She thought about transactions that became something else. About deals that outlasted their terms. About staying a little longer. About figuring out what longer means. Outside Seoul did its relentless beautiful thing. And inside this room. Carefully. With full knowledge of what it cost. She chose to be here. For now. Which was the only honest thing she could say. And for once. It was enough.